Hello and welcome to the first haul of the year, and Happy New Year everyone. Yes, it's 2021. It's the 2nd of January and I am about to do the first manga haul of the year. Yes, you are. And Spirit is joining us today. Spirit! Yeah. Anyway, before we get into the manga, we're going to first start with a couple of games that I got for Christmas. Here we are. And that is Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. This is the newest release in this franchise. It's a remake of the original Game Boy game, Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town. Here it's a farming simulator. If you played like Stardew Valley or other Harvest Moon games, you kind of know what it's like. Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. And then I got Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which is a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, where you go through all the songs from the game. A rhythm game form. I like rhythm games, and this is fun. Even if some of the challenges are hard. So yeah. Yay! Now, again, I also have some anime this month. It's been like a few months, but there is some this time. First up, I have a couple of films here. The first one being Weathering With You. This is Makoto Shinkai's new one. It's came out a couple months back, I think, on Blu-ray, I think. Right, I kind of either like his films or hate his films. That's the one them I liked. Along with, like, I like Your Name, Journey or Golf. I didn't like the rest. I liked this one. Your Name is about a boy who runs away from home to Tokyo, where he meets this girl here who is a weather girl, or sunshine girl I think she's called, where she can clear the rain and make it go sunny. Yeah, and there's like rumours and stuff surrounding this sunshine girl, so they start like going around helping people out and clearing the sun, but there's like more to it than that, and it was a good film. I would recommend it if you haven't watched it yet. Next film I got off my sister for Christmas, and that is Ride Your Wave. This is by the same studio that did Rule Over the Wall. It's about this girl who, she's a surfer and she moves closer to the ocean, where she meets this firefighter who saves her life when her apartment catches on fire. And the two of them grow close and they start dating each other, but then he dies in a tragic accident at sea. And they had this song that they sang together, then she realises that every time she sings this song near a body of water, his spirit like appears in the water. And it's like, so she starts like taking him around in a bottle and stuff. And yeah, and she's wondering how long this can last and why this is going on and stuff. This was also a good film. I also recommend it. Yes, you do. And this next one is a series that I did already own the DVD for, but decided to replace it with this Blu-ray collection because this Blu-ray collection is so nice, and that is Noyan to Your Other Self. This is a sci-fi series about Haruka and her friends, and there's these group of people who come from an alternative dimension, which is kind of in the future, and they come back to this dimension to try and find Haruka, who is the Dragon Talk, and they need her to stabilise their dimension and stop it being destroyed by this other dimension who's going around trying to combine all the dimensions, and it's very good. This collection does come with some art cards. This series does have quite a lot of quantum physics in it, if you don't like understand stuff like that. So yeah, it's a very good series though. And I like the style of these art cards. And this is what like the disc one. This is Anime Limited. Anime Limited does some really good like collector's editions. These are also Anime Limited, but these are just regular editions. The only thing I don't like about Anime Limited's releases is the big massive A that's always on the spine. I have to put this back in the box now. You're gonna have to put that back in the box. There we go. So yeah, that's all the anime for this month. Yes, it is. Now we can finally get on to the manga. Yes, you can. Right, Spirit. Yes, she agrees. Okay, first up I have the stack of this series that I found on eBay and got it for quite a good deal. And that is After School Nightmare, volumes 1 to 10, the complete series. The seller who I bought this off was awesome. They did a deal so I got this entire stack for £50, which is like £5 a volume, which is very cheap considering this is out of print. And he messaged me as soon as I bought it saying that he was getting it ready for shipping and that it would be like half an hour. And then I got another message half an hour later showing a picture of the packaging and saying it had been shipped and it should be here within 2 days. And then it came 2 days later and the packaging was very good too. It was wrapped in 5 layers of bubble wrap. So yeah, very good seller. Anyway, this is After School Nightmare is a shoujo horror psychological mystery series about this boy here who is intersex, which means he's both male and female at the same time. And he's he identifies as male, but his bottom half is female, his top half's male. And he's he's questioning his identity and stuff, and then he comes across this woman who takes him under the school, and there's a bunch of beds here and she says he has to take part in her class in order to graduate, but he doesn't know what that means. Anyway, he's put into the class and he ends up going in this dream world where everyone in this dream world appears as their heart's true desires or something like that. And they have these 3 beads, and when they break, they wake up, and their objective is to find a key which is inside one of them in order to be able to graduate. Yeah, and he also meets this girl and this guy here. So yeah, it's I've only read this first volume so far, but what I've read of it so far is very good. Let's see if I can find something to show. There we go. I'll definitely be reading more of this in the coming days. Here's volume 2. Here's volume 3. Here's volume 4. Here's volume 5. Volume 6. Volume 7. Volume 8. Volume 9. And the final volume 10. This one feels more shiny than the rest. The others are more matte. Yeah, that's After School Nightmare. 1 to 10. Really looking forward to Spirit reading some more. Oh, Spirit, you finally acknowledged me. It's really looking forward to getting some more of this read, as I'm really enjoying it so far. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, now we're going to get into this stack here. It's a big one, isn't it? Yeah, I told you this will probably be bigger than last month's. Anyway, first up here I actually have something that's by the exact same author as After School Nightmare, and that is The Cop on the Chopping Block Jumps Twice. This is actually a sequel to The Cornet Mouse Dreams of Cheese, which is a manga that I ordered but never arrived. So I'm going to have to reorder that. I did get a refund for it, so I will have to reorder that one. chapter before I can actually read this one. So yeah, this is volume 2 of the series, and I will not be able to read it until I get volume 1. But I'm pretty sure it's about a guy who cheats on his wife with another man, from what I recall. I haven't actually read it yet though. Anyway. Okay, I had to pause for a minute there because Rowan's back off his walk. We're going to continue on in this dark. Hello, Rowan. don't be too much of a bother. Okay, next in the stack I have Birds of Shangrila, which is a yaoi, and I read this and it's very good. It's by Anne Rosaria. She did Coyote and Rick Cigarettes. This was very good. It's about a male brothel. This guy, Rowan, is taken to this, he starts a new job on this brothel on this island as a teaser, he's called. He basically gets the guys ready for sex with the customers, so he turns them on, stretches them out, so then they're prepared for the customers. But he's straight, but he's assigned this bird, if I can find a decent page to show, as they're known, and it's his job to teach him the ropes and show him what to do basically. But the rules are he's not allowed to penetrate, he's not allowed to make them orgasm, and he's not allowed to fall in love. And this first one was so good, and I'm looking forward to the next one, and very love Amuzaria's stuff. Next up I have one of my favourites, Given Volume 4. This took me a while to find, as it was out of stock everywhere. It was meant to come out here on the 10th of December. They pushed it back to the 24th of December, went to get it. It was out of stock everywhere, and then I just happened to check again a few days later, and Amazon had it back in stock. So it took me forever to get this, and I only read it a couple of days ago, because that's when it arrived. But I absolutely love Given. It's about a band of these 4 people, and how they perform, and Mafuyu joins the band after Ritsuka hears him singing, and he's really liked his voice, and yeah, it's a very, very good BL musical series, and it's one of my favourites, and I would recommend this to BL fans and just music fans alike. It's very good. The anime is also very good. I recommend that too. Next up, I have Spy X Family Volume 3. This is it's a new Shonen Jump, it's a comedy series about spies. Rowan! And I'm going to have to go stop him from barking. He's quiet. Okay, as I was saying, next up is Spy X Family, which is a new Shonen Jump comedy about... Rowan! What's this? Stop it. And about spies. Well, there's a spy, he's called Twilight, and it's his job to make sure that the 2 countries are at peace. In order to complete this mission, he has to grow close to this person whose son is attending this school. So in order to grow close to him, he needs to first adopt a child, have the child attend the school, and also find a wife. So he ends up taking this girl as his wife, who turns out to be an assassin, and adopting the little girl, who is actually a telepath, this girl here. So she's quite aware of them 2's jobs, but they obviously don't know that she's a telepath. It's good. Next up I have Yona of the Dawn Volume 27. And Yona continues to be very good. And this is starting up a new arc with the Fire Tribe again, and looking forward to it. Yona of the Dawn is one of the best shoujo fantasies I've ever read. It's so good. I recommend it to everybody, if you say so. Yona of the Dawn. Absolutely fantastic. Volume 27. Next up I have another shoujo fantasy series, and that is Snow White with the Red Hair Volume 10. this is starting to get good. I mean, it was good anyway, but things are starting to happen now. Zen and Shirayuki like have their first date in this one. We're definitely long past where the anime ended now. It is so good. I love Snow White with the red hair. It's not as good as Yone of the Dawn, but it's still definitely a good fantasy. But this one's kind of a bit more of a slow slice of life fantasy, rather than like the action-packed fantasy the bitch is Yone of the Dawn. But Shirayuki, she is a herbalist. She was, because of her red hair, the prince of her country wanted her as a concubine. She refused and ran away to the neighbouring country, where she is picked up by Prince Zen and asked if she would then become a part of his court or become like the herbalist. And she agrees, and yeah, it's good. And then we have Love Me, Love Me Not, Volume 5. Still very enjoying this series. It's about two best friends who are... Rowan! What's this, Rowan? Come see! Rowan! He's quiet now. It's about two best friends who are living in this like same apartment, and they like there's this girl and then there's this girl here, but she moves into the apartment where she lives, and this is this girl's stepbrother, and then this is her childhood friend, and it's about these four. Hello, Delta. And they like their relationships and stuff, and it's very good. I don't know yet whether I prefer this one over Our Horror Ride or not, but so far I'm definitely enjoying it, and yeah, it's very good. If you like Our Horror Ride or Strawberry, I haven't read that one, give this one a go. Another one of my favourites next, and that is Queen's Quality Volume 10. I absolutely love this series. I would class it as a bit of a dark fantasy, but not like dark, just like slightly dark fantasy. It's about sweepers, and this guy, he's Kyutaro, finds this girl Fumi lying in school without any memories, and he decides to teach her to be a sweeper. And a sweeper is someone who goes inside people's mind vaults to clear out all like the bugs which cause them to have bad thoughts and stuff. And there's like this guy going around who controls these people called bug handlers, which are like producing some more of these bugs and like investigating that. And this is a sequel to QQ Sweeper, so you do have to read that one first. But this series continues to be absolutely brilliant, and I love it. It's by the same author as Dengeki Daisy, so if you enjoyed that, I would definitely recommend checking out Queen's Quality. It is awesome. And I am sitting here with a dog chew to try and keep the dogs quiet. So far it's not working. Next up, I have a series that I decided that I wanted to give a go, mainly because I love the covers, and that is Tagami Bachi Reta B, and I got volumes 1, 2, and 3. This is a shonen series, which I wasn't 100% sure whether I was going to like or not, so I decided to give the first 3 volumes a go, and I ended up very, very enjoying this. I bought it because I absolutely love these covers. And it's about this boy here called Rag, and when he's a child, he is tasked by this Reta B. A Reta B is someone who delivers letters in this world. I've forgotten what the world's called, but Amber Ground. The world's called Amber Ground, and it's like split into 3 sections, like the middle for the high class, like then the outer layer for the middle class, and then the even outer layer for the low class. And there's no light in this world. They have made this like artificial sun which shines over the middle, and it brings light to the other areas too, but the further light you get, the less light there is. Anyway, the Reta Bees are tasked with delivering letters right between the places, and this Reta Bee here, I forgot his name, Gouch or something like that, is tasked to deliver an 8-year-old Rag to his aunt after his mother was taken. So he goes on a journey to deliver Rag, and which inspires Rag to later on, when he's 12, I think he's 12, to become a Reta Bee himself. So this is Rag's journey to becoming a letter B and the trials of being a letter B, because there's these giant insects living in this world called what are the giant insects called? Gaichu, and the only way to beat these Gaichu is to shoot fragments of your own heart at them using these weapons, and like this spirit amber. There's this a thing called spirit amber which you put inside this weapon and you use it to shoot fragments of your own heart at these creatures in order to destroy them. Anyway, it's very good and I'm looking forward to getting more. I think it's complete at 20 volumes. So yeah, it's actually a very good show in the series if you want to read something that's slightly more obscure. I would definitely recommend it. It does have an anime, although I do not believe it is dubbed. I have not seen it. Next up, I got these for Christmas. It's a series of 3 light novels, and that is the Zaragoza series, which we have Decapitation, Kubikuri Cycle, The Blue Savant, and The Nonsense User. Then we have Strangulation, Kubishimi Romanticist, with No Longer Human, Hiroshiki Zirozaki. What are you doing? What are you two doing? Do you want that? That'll keep you quiet, hopefully. Don't stand on the box. And then we have number 3 here, which is Suspension, Kubitsuri High School, The Nonsense User's Disciple. So yeah, these are like Nishio Ishin's first works. These are the, sorry Del, I'll get you one after. It's just like you're better behaved. Yes. These are Nishio Ishin, the author of the Monogatari series first works. These are the only 3 we currently have. I think there's 8 in total. But yeah, they're mystery works. Each volume is like, I think, a standalone mystery. But it's the same characters. We have this first volume where there's this rich girl who's living on an island due to a disease, and she invites geniuses to come to the island and entertain her. One of which is this girl here and this guy who was like her assistant. And whilst they're there, a murder occurs. One of the people gets killed, and now it's up to these two to solve the mystery as to who it was that killed him or her. I'm not sure. I haven't read these yet, but I am looking forward to. I know there's an anime which covers this first volume, which I have yet to watch. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading these. But they are light novels, so it will take me a while. Anyway, next up is Delta moves out the way of the pile. Oh, this is fantastic. We have Perfect World, Volume 4. I am still enjoying this series. It's good. It's about this able-bodied girl who is in love with this guy who is in a wheelchair, and they knew each other from high school, but then he was in an accident, I think on a bike, which caused him to become disabled, and they meet again as adults, and she enters into a relationship with him, but obviously it goes on about the difficulties and the trials of dating someone in a wheelchair, and it's very good. I would recommend it, definitely. Hello, Data. Next up, I have Happiness Volume 2 by Shuzo Ishimi. I read Happiness Volume 1 years ago? I think it was a couple years back. Anyway, I remembered nothing of it other than the fact I really enjoyed it. So I reread Volume 1 and got myself Volume 2. And it's about a boy who is bitten by a vampire, and so he is turning into a vampire. But it's kind of a bit like Tokyo Ghoul. But it's not, like, Volume 1 was kind of just him realising that something's up and that something's happening to him, and then more stuff starts to happen in the second volume, and it was getting so good, and I really need to pick up more. It's only 10 volumes long. But yeah, really good. Definitely recommend it. It's by the author of Flowers of Evil. I have not read Flowers of Evil, but this is very good. Next up I have or Maidens in Your Savage Season Volume 2, another one I read a while back and decided to get the second volume of. I really enjoyed this too. This is about a group of 5 girls, this girl here, and these 4 here, who are members of this school's literary club, and they start to read a bit more adult fiction, and they start to become aware of sex, and start to talk about sex more, and it's basically about these girls kind of losing their innocence, not like actually going and having sex, but starting to become more adult and starting to think about sex more. So we have this girl here who's realised that she has feelings for her childhood friend who she walked in on masturbating. So yeah, she has feelings for him. Then there's this short girl here, she writes erotica, and she's been talking to this guy online to kind of practice her like sexy talk and stuff, and she realised she needs more experience to make her novels better. And there's this tall girl here who is a complete prude, and she like wants nothing to do with sex. She even changes the word so she doesn't even have to mention it. This girl here she's her best friend, but so far she's the character I kind of know the least about. She has been asked out by somebody, but she refused, but yeah, she's the one I kind of know the least about. And then there's this girl on the front here who's like, if she can do one thing before she dies, it would be to have sex. So yeah, it's very good. I think it's only 8 volumes long. I do believe it's complete. I've only got 2 left to get through. Can you please just behave yourself into that moment? Okay. Don't worry, my next video will be taking place when he is out for a walk. It's just this once, because it's snowing. Yup, it's snowing. Next I have Something's Wrong With Us, Volume 4. I love this series, it's so suspenseful and intriguing, and I just need to know what happens next. This one ends on a cliffhanger. It's about this girl who, when she was a child, used to work. Her mother worked for this patissier as making, well, she's not a patissier, like a Japanese sweets maker to make sweets. And she was friends with him. They were both kids. And then her mother is accused of murdering his father because he accused her of it. There's a bit more information about that in this volume, but we still don't know very much. Anyway, she goes away, and later on, she receives a letter from her mother after she's died in prison that she's innocent, she didn't do it, which prompts her to go investigate what actually happened. So she marries him in order to get close to the family and get some answers, and it's just really good. Anyway, last volume here. I was actually meant to haul this last month, but I forgot because I was reading it, so it wasn't where it was meant to be. And that is Yes, No, or Maybe, which is a BL light novel. There is some pictures in here, if I can find one that's green. This is about this newscaster called Kunada K, and when he's like has this persona which he uses when he's on TV, like he's this perfect guy, but then as soon as he's back home he turns into like this moody slob who hates everybody, and he has to work for a news story with this stop motion animator called, I've forgotten and it doesn't say on the back. But anyway, he starts to work with him, and he's like he's coming to see him as Kunada K, but he's also coming to see him as his other personality as well. So like both personalities are like coming to visit him, and so with one personality he has to be completely polite because he's and nice to him, but then when he's like comes around on in his own time to like help him out and stuff after hitting him with his bike, he like grumpy and completely talks shit about him, and it's actually really good. I totally enjoyed this. I think it's 3 volumes long. I think there is definitely another 2. Anyway, yeah, this is good. And I was meant to haul this last month. I just forgot. So yeah. That is it for this haul. Yep, I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to get Delta a treat because she didn't get one and she was looking sad. Yep. So yeah, that's goodbye. Not as goodbye.